Welcome to the Fantasy Boardroom. As always, I am your host and Fantasy CEO Tycoon, and man, this is not going to be the most fun show. I'm sorry, guys. I gotta admit, I'm pretty much on full tilt right now. This has not been a good week at all. Not a good season, but so I'm gonna vent a bit. That's going to be the majority of the show, and going to give you guys the opportunity to do so too. If you did not have good playoff luck here, then please tell me all about it. Misery loves company. Certainly could use it because, yeah, this week was shit. So the playoffs have started, and they've already ended for many. The injuries continue. We had big players disappear. Random guys popping, lots of players popping, even expected ones. So yeah, even if you had some guys go off, you no doubt faced some guys that went off too and had no assurances that even if you had, Devontae Adams or Amon-Ra St. Brown, that you even won. No TDs on Thursday, so you're thinking, oh great, this is a great kickoff to the fantasy playoffs with no points essentially. And then points galore on Sunday and back to some pretty ugly football there on Monday. If you had Aaron Jones and Justin Jefferson, you were all right, but otherwise, that was not so good either. It was a wild week. I didn't fare well, and I am pissed about it. So first, I just got to get this off my chest. Jonathan freaking Taylor. I will never forgive him. Never forgive Jonathan Taylor. Cost me a win in my home dynasty league to the 6th seed, guy that was lucky to even sneak in there at the end. New player to the league too. Ultra frustrating, and a guy who voted for a league rule change that I was very against. So, yeah, just salt in the wound, punch to the gut. It was the second highest score, was up there all season long. Just pissed about this one. Jonathan Taylor. It's all that had to happen was him carry that ball into the end zone. He doesn't drop that ball, I win. Like, no problem. So it just feels, those types of things. Just normally most years. No, I'm used to the ups and downs of winning and losing. It is what it is. But this year just felt different. Just week after week after week after week after week. Just gut punch one way or another. And yeah. So losing in a way that feels like you even had, the right guys, the right players, making the right plays. He was scoring a freaking touchdown and then just inexplicably let go of the ball and cost me 8 points and victory and dominance. And that one's going to take a really, really long time. So in that home league too, since we're on the topic of that one, I mean, not only that, but just overall misfortune in this league. I mean, I lost Chris Godwin early on, which sucked, or midway through the season, whatever. That was a pretty brutal blow. He was a key part. But yeah, the opponent gets absolutely useless garbage time TDs from Malik Neighbors at the end of the game, Chase Brown like in the final minute of their blowout. Absolutely lucks out big time with the Atlanta defense facing Desmond Ridder. Just absolutely ridiculous. Now, I do have myself partially to blame because I did leave Bateman on the bench here as well, and if I had played Rashad Bateman, I would have won, but oh my God. Taylor is still public enemy number one, man. If he just holds that ball, I win. And honestly, man, that's the kind of thing that just has me legitimately considering quitting playing fantasy football altogether, man. I don't know if I can do this anymore. That was rough. And now here in the Get Right family, we have Get Right Dynasty League, which features, at least from the show, so Dustin, Frank, Classic Mike, and myself, along with some other early Get Right listeners. So this has been a fun league, but yeah, and this one wasn't quite as hard to take right off the bat. I mean, I knew, and I'll explain this here in a minute. I mean, I knew as soon as the seeding was settled that I was done. But then when Brock Purdy gave me 5 points, less than 5 points on Thursday, I knew I was absolutely cooked. But I had the smallest sliver of hope only because the opponent had a 0 from Cup. But my opponent is a Get Right OG. He's been with them from the beginning, with us from the beginning. And he started this league by three-peating. He's already won the first 3 titles since the inception. And now is well on his way to number 4. His team was pretty mid this year, too. I think it was only 8-6, and he was just kind of riding that 6th, 7th place line for a while. But, of course, now that we're in the playoffs, gone demon mode. Who does he have on this team that even no matter what I did in this league, or or in this matchup I would have lost. Well, you got Devontae Adams, of course. Amon-Ra St. Brown, naturally. James Conner, who the hell else? And, for shits and giggles, he had to plug in Cooper Rush as his quarterback. And what does he do? Goes and throws 3 touchdowns. Best performance of his fucking career. So yeah, when we get to the playoffs, man, this guy honestly can't be stopped. I was the top scorer in this league all the way up until week 14, in which I ended up, the last 2 weeks I really had bad performances. Week 14 bias crushed me. So I lost my points lead and my bye, which ultimately probably will have cost me this league. Never had a chance. But it is frustrating, though, because I'm the leading scorer in the history of this league by like 400 points. I've got the second best record in this league, only behind the three-peater, but he's only won like 3 games more than me over the 4-year period. And I'm going to go into year 5 not even having sniffed the title, despite smacking these guys around year after year. So that part really pretty damn frustrating, and again, really has me legitimately considering this fantasy football stuff. I just don't know if I can continue to do this anymore. Now, the redraft money league. All right, here's where there's a little bit of good fortune. I did advance, and this league, it's actually now going to be the title game. Championship game is in week 16, which is awesome, right? Yes, except I lost my 2 starting running backs. Lost Kamara, lost Montgomery for the season. I've lost other players and running backs in particular on this roster throughout the season as well. So I now have a single healthy running back, and that running back is Travis Etienne. Ooh, I mean, preseason I would have been thrilled about that, but given everything we've seen, not exactly thrilled about that. And so now I'm surfing the waiver wire for RB2 in a title game. Like, this is deflating. I'm going up against a good team too. It's just been that kind of season. I have Josh Allen and Justin Jefferson on that team, so I guess I'm going to need them to be mammoth again just one more week. My entire mental health and fantasy career might hinge on this matchup and on Josh Allen and Justin Jefferson. That's just kind of where I'm at. Because, man, I just, again, the nature of the losses in this season is different from before, and it's tough. Roster, you're in here. Appreciate you, brother. I know you don't hear any of this shit, but I got to get this out. Like I said, I'm on full tilt, and if I don't get this out and try to work through it, that's where I'm going to end up because, oh my God, I've not been this pissed off in years. And so for 2024 overall, I mean, just honestly, probably my worst fantasy season in like 10 years. So that's also a bit of an ego blow as well as just being frustrating to have lost. But yeah, I haven't had this bad of a season in a really, really long time. I wouldn't be doing a show if I struggled at fantasy football. I didn't necessarily struggle this year, but it wasn't good, and it just wasn't as fun with the way things went down. So yeah, least amount of teams, though, to reach the playoffs that I've ever had. Or again, at least in many, many years, not ever had, because only been high volume for, within that last, 8 to 10 years. But least amount of teams to advance here into the playoffs. I mean, I've got, 3 teams alive, and I'm in, 30 leagues. I take that back. I don't know what my Yahoo leagues are like, but I think I only had 2 or 3 of those teams even make the playoffs, so I guess they're still going to be alive. But and yeah, my ESPN ones are 2-week playoffs. I have more, but I mean, in the leagues I really, really care about, I'll say 3 teams still alive out of 20 of those leagues, which is frustrating. At least 2 money leagues still alive, and yeah, the other one that was alive on bye. Also, just I'm going to have very weak flexes in that for the semifinals and finals, so that's brutal to take. So yeah, in the tournament, then absolutely boned in week 14 too, especially in best ball. I had several teams in position to advance, and by the end of week 14, I had 5 third place teams out of 16 that I drafted. 5 of them third place. 3 of those over 2,000 points. This is DraftKings, by the way. that close, and just within like a few points of those 2,000 point ones as well. Just like what couldn't even advance any of those with some really good teams. Terrible performance on Yahoo overall. Probably going to lose my diamond ranking for the first time in many, 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 many years, which is annoying. It's just been a horrible year for injuries in general. And then I also had some ridiculously bad draft calls. Some people load up on Tebow and Cooper Kupp, they're in like third and fourth rounds, and that probably hasn't worked out well for most. Well, Cooper Kupp's been okay when he's been healthy for the most part, but should have been saying Adams in that range the whole time. Look where he'd be dropping 40 burgers in the playoffs. I don't feel like maybe lost my touch a little bit this year. Maybe it truly is just bad. I don't know. The truth probably lies somewhere in the middle. Probably wasn't as good myself this year, along with probably some worse luck than usual, combining for this fugue of horrificness. I'm just not used to not practically dominating. Frankly, it's tough for me to where I've advanced myself as a fantasy player. So yeah, it's really, really tough to take and accept the way that things have broken this year. Yeah, I know I'm bitching, but that's the whole point of this. So again, anybody out there, please join me. I need to commiserate with somebody else that had a shitty first round of the playoffs. And in the dynasty leagues, even so where I would have even had a chance and get right if I was trying to make a trade for Mike Evans. I was being asked for an unreasonable return for that, so I chose not to do so. And had I been able to go with him, I would have actually played Baker Mayfield over Brock Purdy in order to have that duo come playoff time. If I'd had the Mayfield-Evans duo, I actually would have won that matchup. So even things like that. I mean, I felt like I was on the right path here, but then couldn't in some areas, right? And then even with that, couldn't get the other party to grant something reasonable. Like I don't know. And similar situation with the other team that I still have alive. So I've been trying to make some moves there, and I'm trying to just get some aging vets here, right? And just something. I'm not trying to go out here and be throwing first around willy nilly, especially when they're not when they're really kind of at their lowest value. So yeah, now. And I can't get anything done, so I haven't been able to bolster these teams. It's been wildly frustrating. Now these teams have no hope this year. Well, they're already done this year. Have no real hope for next year or probably the year after. Some teams in bad shape, holding on to these 31, 32-year-olds that are going to be they're going to be lucky to get peanuts, in the offseason for. Nobody buys these guys in the offseason for the most part. And also, many of these guys are about to be on the decline or are already on the decline. So these guys are sitting here wasted, and I'm just sitting here like an asshole. Just again, tilting beyond belief. It's so maddening. You definitely did okay. You shared some of your numbers, Rasta. You've had a good year as usual, as you do. You're a high quality player. You've had some bad injury lucks in some cases, but in those where I've been with you, you've also had some pretty good depth, so you've been able to withstand, thankfully, or some really good high-end talent, i.e. the Dynasty League. But now you're facing the soon-to-be 4-time champion, missing some folks. So we're going to hit the injuries here in a second. That's really slapped everybody. And Mr. Magic, what you got? Throw it in there. We'll see how your ones that are hanging on by a thread go. Hopefully you have better luck. We'll see. This is an incredibly unpredictable year, so we'll see how that goes for you. But yeah, the way this has gone, honestly, it's just fantasy was not that much fun this year, frankly. And when it's not that much fun, is it really worth continuing? It really has me questioning. And the 49ers have been an absolute mess this season too, which has really not helped matters in terms of just overall football. Like the football season as a whole has brought zero joy for me personally. 49ers suck. The Chiefs suck, but yet they somehow still win almost every single week. The fun juggernaut that's out there in Detroit now is losing guys every single week, so they're probably not going to win the Super Bowl at this point. The only hope for something really cool this season is for the Bills to win the Super Bowl, which the way Josh Allen is going could happen. It would be pretty sweet. But given the history of the organization, the luck of that city, I'm not exactly holding my breath. So probably be like the stupid Eagles. Who wants that? I mean, at least Saquon and AJB are cool, but like, I certainly don't want to see the Eagles win the Super Bowl, and nobody outside of Philly does. Period. So, yeah, the season sucks, and I can't wait for it to be over so I can get back to enjoying my life. Maybe some time away from this for a little while will rejuvenate me. But right now, man, oh my God, this has been horrific. Thank God the Sharks drafted Macklin Celebrini. That is holding me together because that kid is special. But yeah, no, and yeah, just for everybody. So even if you advance too, like, you're losing guys left and right? So if you have DK Metcalf, Jackson Smith, and Jigba, or even Charbonnet, cool. Now it's probably going to be Sam Howell at quarterback. Woo! Hey, you had Jerry Jeudy. This guy just absolutely dominating of late, and just what a boon and league winner this guy's about to be. Oh, but Jameis regressed to bad Jameis, and now we get Dorian Thompson-Robertson. Yeah, cool. Also, if David Njoku comes back, yeah, he's useless now. Oh, Cedric Tillman's going to be back. Yeah, Elijah Moore was giving you a little extra boost there when you needed some depth due to all of these injuries. Not anymore, he's not. Every Raider is useless. I mean, Ritter in there absolutely neuters Bowers and Myers, which sucks. They don't have a running back. Sincere McCormick, it looked like he might be exciting and interesting. Boom, immediately injured, so no fun there. Cousins is absolutely destroying the Falcons players, not named Bijan Robinson. He's not hurt, but I don't know. I just felt like I had to throw that in there after what we had to watch between. The fact that the Raiders had a chance to win that game on their final drive is an abomination. That is such an outrageously horrific display of football, that game. God, who else? It's just blow after blow after blow to fantasy rosters, and I just hope a lot of you have had better luck than me with your rosters and the matchups that you happen to draw. This is and then of course we have David Montgomery out for the season, so that's horrible. I mean, it's going to help the Gibbs owners and probably the Amon-Ra St. Brown owners, but overall that is terrible news. Alvin Kamara, I mean, I haven't seen an update from him yet today, but if he left and with no hope in the season and no quarterback, I'm not sure they're going to exactly try and worm him back into the lineup. So at least it makes Kendre Miller an interesting waiver option, and probably who I'm targeting to replace Kamara in the league that I lost him in. So I guess there's that. Let's see, what else? Who else did we lose? I feel like there's a couple of other injuries I'm forgetting. We'll just see what else. So TJ Watt, left. I haven't seen an update on him, but yeah, if he is out, that's pretty bad for the Steelers. AJ Brown took a knock there at the end of that game, so wonderful. I know Saquon was banged up early in that game too and didn't exactly look great through the rest of the game, so I'm not sure he was really 100% healthy. We'll see. Kyler Murray took a pretty big hit and ended up back out there, but dude, this is left and right. You guys are brutal. Yeah, the Lions defense just destroyed him. They lost like 4 guys. Patrick Mahomes got injured. I expect him to play, but I believe he logged a full practice today. But even Mahomes was injured, man. Like, who didn't get hurt? And how is this not going to affect it? Yeah, Nick Chubb. Myles Garrett to knock there. Just it's truly unbelievable. So all I can say is just hope your team stays healthy, because that's going to be probably the biggest driver in terms of advancing. Just having a team that you put out there and your players play the full 60 minutes. That's your best chance of winning. Just having your entire roster actually make it through a week. Rouse of 10 of 18 still playing. Week 16 is nice though. That is pretty good. Look, man, it doesn't feel just like regular tilt. A lot of time and effort I do put into it. So yeah, when things don't come my way, it really, really sucks. And again, look, it's it's fantasy football. It's not totally predictable, so things aren't always going to go your way. I don't know if I'm going to be excited next July because again, it was the nature of the way these things broke this season, just a much more brutal fashion than I've experienced in some time. And yeah, for sure, when things don't go my way in the bigger picture like they didn't this year, that also like by least amount of teams even making the playoffs this year, in some time. Yeah, that's part of it, but it's just the way most of it happened. I think that's really the problem. Want to hear my 2 QB dynasty full PPR and quarter point of carry team the role? Hell yeah, I do. What's up with this team? Lay it on me. I'm curious. I either need someone to complain about the bad luck they experience or to bring something, fun and joyous here. Maybe we can close this out on a high note. Roll. Hopefully this team's good and you're advancing in your playoffs and we're about to see a future championship team. That would be nice. Love to know what that looks like in 2024. Actually, no, I can tell you. It probably involves Devontae Adams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jordan Love, James Conner, Cooper Rush. Yeah, that's what a championship team looks like here in 2024. What else does that asshole have? I can give you the exact championship roster for standard, or not standard, but like regular PPR settings. Yeah, Jordan Love, Joe Mixon, Devon Achane, Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, Tucker Kraft, Devontae Adams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, James Conner, Cooper Rush. That is a championship team in 2024. This is a long roster. Start Brian Thomas Jr. over London. I feel like I can't keep Justin Kirk. London has a good floor, but I think, yeah, absolutely. I'm starting Brian Thomas over Drake London without hesitation. I think the Jags have a good matchup this week too, if I'm not mistaken. I just want to double check that, but I do think, yeah, that's actually it. I think they have somebody even Mac Jones can help take advantage of. Yeah, Vegas. So fantastic news for them. So yeah, Brian Thomas Jr. against Las Vegas. Yeah, sign me up. I mean, even London scored against them with Kirk playing like complete ass. So yeah, exactly. I really wouldn't care that much about matchup either. Not so much about Brian Thomas, but just about Mac Jones. Versus like an overall potentially stronger defense, but I think he'll have plenty of time to operate, and Brian will be able to do his thing. What a bright spot to the season he was, though. Let's shout out one positive thing here. So thank you for bringing him up, Perry. Brian Thomas Jr. One of the, for some more than others, really pleasant surprise. I was not particularly high on him coming out as far as receivers go. I probably had him fifth behind the typical big three: Harrison, Neighbors, and Odunze. Then I had McConkey at 4. Thomas Jr. at 5. So yeah, no. But yeah, he has been at worst the second best rookie wide receiver, probably the best in my opinion. I think he's been tremendous, and glad I still have him on a couple of teams, and wish I had him on a whole lot more. Huge Brian Thomas Jr. fan over the course of the season. All right, now we got the Rolls team, so let's see what he's got. This is a 2-quarterback dynasty, full PPR, and 1 quarter point per carry. So, important note. Caleb, Drake May, Anthony Richardson, Sam Darnold, Michael Penix, Daniel Jones. All right, so all quarterbacks, except Darnold for the most part, with some mobile upside. And we'll see if, Daniel Jones gets another opportunity here in the league and how long Rich even sticks, but still nice value. I like that. K9, Kenneth Walker III, DeAndre Swift, Travis Etienne, J.K. Dobbins, Cam Akers, Miles Sanders, Blake Corum. Overall, I like that group. Some of these guys more than others, but that's not bad in a dynasty league for running back. Marvin Harrison, T. Higgins, Jalen Waddle, DK Metcalf, Cedric Tillman, Calvin Ridley, Debo Samuel, Quentin Johnston, and Mike Williams in the wide receiver room. So I do like... So Harrison, Higgins, Waddle, Metcalf is a really nice young core here. Metcalf's a little more veteran, but still, none of these guys are, they're still only getting into peak years or are younger than that even. So this is actually a really nice group. I love this receiving group. Um, Debo might be done. We'll see. He's been it's been rough this year. QJ has actually showed a lot this year, so you really may have something with him, especially as he continues and continues to grow with the team. And with Herbert, he just the drops have limited him so far. And then in the tight end room, the role has Njoku, Cole Kmet, Brenton Strange, Michael Mayer. Michael Mayer, I'd love to see get traded to because I think he's really good, but he's never going to be better than Brock Bowers, so he's going to be stuck until he's able to get out from that shadow. I would love Njoku more if it didn't look like, or if the Browns had a real quarterback. Cole Kmet, nice. Brenton Strange, he's played well when Ingram's been out, and he is not getting any younger. So this is a nice group as well. And plus, tight ends tend to take time, except for like the crazy prodigies and special ones, and the 104 and 107, which probably get you another nice running back and receiver. Hell yeah, man! You're looking pretty good. I like that. Do you think I sold too low in Dynasty Pool PPR Puka for Brian Thomas Jr. straight up? I did about a week before Puka came back. Wait, you traded Puka for Brian Thomas Jr.? Like, so now you're rostering Brian Thomas Jr. or the other way around? Auction Dynasty Superflex, this was a startup year. Yeah, no, I just want to make sure. So you traded Puka to acquire Brian Thomas Jr., correct? Or did you do it the other way? You traded Brian Thomas Jr. to obtain Puka? Basically, where I'm at is I think it's hard to... Okay, so you traded Puka to obtain Brian Thomas Jr. I mean, in a value vacuum, you probably sold too low. You probably should have gotten a little something extra on top of Brian Thomas Jr. to trade away Puka in Dynasty. But I do think, once Stafford's done, Puka's going to try and, he's going to have a quarterback that's going to show that kind of tunnel vision towards him. I don't know. That's just kind of the thing Stafford does. He produces top receivers. But I don't hate it, though. I mean, I love Thomas, man. So me personally, I probably would rather have Thomas, but the deciding it right now is quarterback for them, but it also doesn't seem to matter for Thomas. So no, I think a lot of people would say you did, but I'd still be able to live with myself with that. That's fine, because I love Thomas Jr. I think you're good. I think you're definitely good there. Traded Gibbs for the 107 and Waddle. Ooh. Quarter point per carry, though. It depends on what running back falls. It's a really deep class. There's a lot of good running backs, so you may end up with a really, really good one there that maybe won't be Gibbs, but will be a really, really reliable starting running back for your team for years. So it's going to depend on who falls. I probably wouldn't have made that trade myself, but I really, really love Gibbs. And yeah, especially at a quarter point per carry league, it'd probably treat running backs even a little more, value them even a little bit higher than I normally would. But it's not bad, because there's a really good chance you end up with a stud running back with that pick. So slight downgrade at running back to also obtain Waddle may end up working out pretty well. But in the moment, I probably wouldn't have done that. So may the draft fall your way. That's all I can say. Because yeah, there's easily a half dozen running backs I love right off the bat. So you're not going to get Genty or whatever, but yeah, maybe Judkins or Henderson falls to you. If a couple of these receivers people fall in love with, obviously like Ted McMillan will be high. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, you could end up with, again, really strong running back that could be 80% of Gibbs. And if that happens, then that is a W, because I still love Waddle long term in Dynasty. Well, appreciate anybody that stuck through me just kind of bitching here. Let me vent, get this out. It's been a tough season. Needed this platform to express this. So I don't know next week, Tuesday, is Christmas Eve. So I don't know if I'm going to do a show. Certainly not going to do it in the evening. If you're watching me on Christmas Eve in the evening, I hope you and your family just are disassociated or something, because that's the only excuse. Spend time with your family, spend time with friends, whatever, loved ones, with somebody. Don't watch me live streaming before Christmas Day Netflix abomination football games. Just try to enjoy the season. You'll enjoy Christmas Eve. Don't be looking for me. But if I do a show, which I still might, it would definitely be much earlier in the day. It'll be a morning or daytime kind of show to give maximum flexibility, and maybe while people are still just getting ready for the day, it might be a bit easier to watch that day. But yeah, certainly won't be an evening show. But yeah, there may not be a show, so I'm not sure. We will see. So yeah, this possibly is the final fantasy, because after that, then it's championship week. So it's possible this is the season finale. Possible. Oh, all right. Well, fine. Before I get out of here, top waiver guys. We're not going to be able to. Excuse me. Do a waiver show now. That's a bummer. Well, if you're wait, you don't do a Tuesday show anyways. That's tomorrow. You mean show tomorrow? Gosh, I've been on such. I haven't even looked that much into it. I mean, Kendra Miller right off the top. If Jalen McMillan had been dropped, make sure you go ahead and grab him. Certainly would be a good way to go. Trying to think. Yeah, I hate to say this, Ross. I'm not prepared for the waivers because I've been too depressed about getting knocked out. I lost on my team. I don't have waivers to pick up, except for in one league, and I just need that running back. So Kendra Miller is really where I'm eyeing. But dude, we had so many injuries. Yeah, in Superflex league, so there's obviously Sam Howell, Ford Miller. Yeah, Ford also with Chubb down. But I mean, I personally, I don't even think Ford's really worth picking up either. Even the guys that are coming in as replacements, I don't really endorse picking up. Kendra Miller is like the one guy that seems to make sense. I mean, yeah, there's guys out there. I wouldn't bother picking up Ford with Chubb out, with DTR on a quarterback. Who the Browns even have? I mean, it's probably going to be terrible. I would. Oh, here we go. Cleveland. Yeah, Cincinnati. I know Cincinnati defense sucks, but when they're up against a bad team, we saw that they can still take care of business. So no, can't endorse that. Not Zacchaeus, not Strong. Can't like who. Goodness, I'm trying to think who else might be out there. Bear with me for a minute, guys. I apologize. Struggling with this. There it is. Yeah, Jalen McMillan. Yeah, there's the quarterbacks, obviously. Jalen Coker actually is probably worth a pickup if he's been redropped. Get him out there. So go ahead and pick him up. Rashad Bateman, if he's still out there. I'm trying to see who's widely available here in some of these leagues are still in. Yeah. Really, Kendra Miller's the one, though, for me. Jalen McMillan, if he's out there. Those are if you need a running back, it's Miller. Dude, this guy sucks for the most part. So that's why I wouldn't bother going back out trying to get like an Amir Abdullah or a Madison or anybody like that for the Raiders, because with Ritter in tow, that's the point. Heck, I can only get so excited about Miller with Rattler back there, but at least I've seen him do a little something in that situation. So, and it's desperation in that moment as well. So yeah, Ford, I guess, might be the fallback if you can't obtain Miller, because at least he's going to get some volume. He's just probably not going to do anything with it. So, yeah. So again, don't know if there's going to be a show next week. So this quite possibly could be the final or the season finale here of the Fantasy Boardroom. Not only the season finale, but man, this could be it, period. This could be the final sign-off. And if it is, I appreciate the ride with everybody that's done this with me for the past 4 years. Possibly you see me next week just saying, all right, I'm off the ledge, guys. I don't know. I really don't. No clue. So all I can say is I love anybody and all of you that has spent any time with me and has ridden with me, whether it's been with the Fantasy Collective, Rogue, or here with Get Right. Still love these boys. Love what they do. Nobody better. But we'll see about me. So, to those of you still out there, thank you for your time. It is the most valuable thing that you have. It is the one thing that you cannot replace, the one thing you cannot buy. And I'm incredibly grateful and humbled anytime you've chosen to spend some of that with me. So, with that, good luck in your playoff matchups this weekend. And this meeting of the Fantasy Boardroom is adjourned.
Wanted to write fantasy is the play. Marking nothing but I tune every Friday. Strategies provided